Hey guys, Brian Cade here with Cade Fit. Cade Fit is a fitness and self-development center where I teach people to get more out of their minds and more out of their bodies. Today I want to talk to you about muscle confusion. I've had clients tell me that the trainers they used to work with would always try to confuse their muscles, change it up, keep it fresh, always throwing in new exercises and making it as interesting as possible. And then I've heard people say they always change their exercises, do things different because they got to confuse their muscles because they don't want to get stuck. And the idea of muscle confusion doesn't make any sense to me. The only thing I saw that was recommended for a personal trainer to change it up is so the clients stay interested. However, if you want to make long-term progress, part of learning to exercise is that it's a motor skill. If you were to learn how to play tennis, do you think you'd practice your serve once every 6 weeks? Or if you're learning the piano, would you practice once every 6 weeks? No, you do it 3 to 4 times a week, if not daily. Same thing applies to exercise. Find out what exercises are going to have the biggest impact on your results and do them often. So if you're trying to get in shape for a sport or for running or whatever that is, find it and practice it regularly. The more you practice it, the better you get at that skill. You can't really confuse your muscles. They either work or they don't. So you got to teach them to work in the way that you want them to, which is why it has to be specific. There are times though that you will start to plateau. So I'm going to cover 3 ways today that you can keep making progress even when things start slowing down. So the first one is going to be reverse order, second one is same but different, and the third is daily undulating periodization. The first one I don't use too much, but the last 2 I use in my training on a regular basis to keep me making progress. So the first one is the reverse order principle. Basically, if you normally go in and you hit bench press, then chin-ups or rows, then you do an overhead press, another back exercise, then biceps, triceps, or whatever it is, just reverse the order next time, or change up the exercises. Say, start with back, then do shoulders, then bench press. Because the order is different, the level of fatigue for each exercise will be different, so that you're going to be able to use heavier weights for back or shoulders than you normally do at the start. So that's going to be enough of a difference to help you keep making progress and change the stimulus. The second way I make progress is that I use the daily undulating periodization. So what that is basically you change the reps every day. In a normal periodization program that used to occur for college programs and stuff, you'd start out with a week with 12 to 15 reps, a week or 2 at 8 to 10 reps, a week or 2 at 6 to 8, and a week or 2 at 3 to 5. Just moving down over time. With daily undulating periodization, you change it up regularly. So one day I might go into squat and I'm doing sets of 3. Next time I'm doing sets of 8, and then I'm doing sets of 5 at the end of the week. So same exercise to learn that exercise and get better at it, but changing the exercise repetitions so that I train something slightly different. So 2 days are primarily strength, and then the other day is going to be hypertrophy, which is to build that muscle up. So build the muscle up so that you can use it for strength later. You can use that whether you're training for endurance, strength, whatever it is. You want to pick the reps in that range, slightly above and below that. So say you're training for endurance, you might stick between 12 and 25 repetitions, but you also have a day of 8 to 10. I still believe that strength is one of the most important things to do, so I'd probably still throw in some 5 rep days. If you're training for hypertrophy, do some days where you do 5s. Most of your training should be 8 to 12, and then you have a day or 2 of 12 to 15 or 15 to 20. So when you use daily periodization, I can never say that word, but when you use that, figure out what your rep range is, stick most of your reps around that, and then have a couple days here and there that are slightly above and below, constantly changing up. One of the things that I use most often though is the same but different approach. So say that your back squat is one of the best exercises you can do, has a huge carryover to your performance. You want to get really good at that. So you do about 4 to 6 weeks of that, get good at it, and then when you start to plateau, change it to front squats. Use 4 to 6 weeks, get good at that, then change it back to back squats, but you're using a narrow stance. So each time you're using the muscles in a similar manner, but slightly different, that you train other muscles to improve them, and then you can carry them over when you go back to back squatting. This can work for any exercise. Example would be you're using full range of motion bench press, another time you're using floor press, then you're using dumbbells, changing up, same exercise, but changing up slightly so that you get the different training effect. So those are the three ways that I really keep making progress, is the daily undulating, periodization, the same but different approach, and the reverse order. So if you're not making progress, don't try to confuse your muscles. Keep them close to what you've been doing, but different enough to keep the stimulus different and keep you pushing through. I'm Brian Cade with Cade Fit. Once you get stronger, life gets easier. Hey guys, Brian Cade here with Cade Fit. Books are my most valuable possession. I believe that each book has the ideas that can transform my own life. And because I'm recommending books on a regular basis, I'm like, hey, you're struggling with this, you should read this book. My clients were like, hey, why don't you create a list of the top books that you're always recommending to us? And so I did just that. I created the top 5 books to transform your life. They're broken into categories between wealth and finance, relationships, fear and self-confidence, and I broke them into the books that had the most value to me. And so if you click the link below, you'll get instant access to the top 5 books to transform your life. If you don't start changing the way you think, you will never change. Once you change your thoughts, your actions will change and your life will change. I promise that if you read these books on a regular basis, that your life will change forever.